Hi everyone again. This is part 2, yes, of this solar eclipse preview, December 14, 2020, which happens to be the last day of the 260-day cycle in the Mayan calendar, which is the galactic calendar, if you want, which was brought to us by the Mayan ancestors thousands and thousands of years ago. 13 Ahau, that is the last day of the 20th wave of Lamat, of perfection, of excellence. So this is the highest holiday in a way. It only happens once every 260 days, 260 being the gestation period of us humans. Very important number. There's also the number 26 comes over and again. 26,000 light years away we are from the galactic center. 26 is a power number, 260. And the last day of that is 13 Ahau, which is the yellow cosmic sun, a day of celebration. So keep that in mind. This is a wonderful day to just allow being and to realize the marvelous place we have come at. Yes, we're not yet fully there, but I just on that spot, I just want to intersperse this screen here. There is no point in following daily events. There's an underlying strategy that involves ups and downs. The downs are as much part of it as the ups. If we know what the strategy is, so do they. If they know, they can't plan against it. The only constant is that Trump will win. Fact. Yes, we know that. That's nothing new. We knew that from a long time coming. And the people who know that, they're infectious. More and more people will be joining. Believe me, this is the whole trick of why it's taking so long. This is necessary. We have to be patient. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that in, and also I wrote this as a comment when I reposted it this morning. And it's very important to brace ourselves. The path to victory might be longer than we would have expected. Just keep that in mind. There's no timeline. Time doesn't matter. We have already won on the energetic level. It's really just a matter of allowing it to organically play out. That's basically what it is. And as we know, every good job takes longer than you estimated it. If you build a house, it usually takes a few months longer, at least. Okay, just think of it in that way. And also, this is a monumental task to take these dark structures down. This has never been done before. Just wanted to throw this in as a reminder. So as we now look at this chart of the 14th of December, the seeding of that new energy for Washington, D.C., the moon of the nation is at the ascendant. The moon is the people in a nation's chart. It's the masses, if you want. It's the combined emotions. That's why the mainstream media have and had such a power, because if you know how to influence people in their emotional bodies, then you can prevent them from understanding higher principles. You keep them down, they're locked in, and the conflict level of creating polarity, Democrats and Republicans, whites and blacks and whatever. So, I mean, we have come to a point now where we clearly can see that these two parties, they have been playing us. These are the same people. Trump came in as a maverick, very clearly. And I mean, Trump has matured over his life quite a bit. He started off as a Democrat. Maybe you haven't heard that before, but that's true. If you look back in history in the 80s and 90s of last century, he was a Democrat, a registered Democrat. Then he, for a while, supported the Reform Party. In 1996, you might remember, that was Ross Perot, which first time ever in an American presidential election got a substantial amount of votes. I guess it was 7% or something. So in 2000, Donald Trump was wanting to become the candidate for the Reform Party. It didn't work out in the end, but that was his intention. And then, naturally, as he grew older and wiser, he started seeing behind the curtains. I guess it started for many people, probably for him too, with 9/11. That was the big game changer, when they did something which was just too arrogant, too big. This woke up many people, me, myself included. So anyway, this chart now, to come back to this moment where all starts to crystallize. See that grand cross here? Sedna in the third house, that is disclosure of unusual things, of foreign things, of alien realities, of dark secrets as well, because Sedna is a deep space traveler coming back from a 11,000 years plus cycle, bringing back all these mysteries, all these hidden realities. Sedna was named after an Inuit goddess of the deep sea, who's the protector of whales and of sea life and of Mother Nature. And then we have here this beautiful conjunction of Venus, Juno, and Astrea here up in the 9th house. That is abundant energy in hexagram 14, which is possessions in great measure. That's it's called. And it's the translation of the I Ching hexagram 14. Possessions in great measure. So love, Venus, Juno, partnership, working together, supporting one another. Astrea, rolling our sleeves back and getting the work done. That last section of Scorpio is extremely intense and is ready to go to the core of the matter. It is the opening all the dark corners and looking into each niche. It is that final attempt to find the treasure within the dark mountain, you could say. And this grand square here with ascendant, descendant, Sedna, and that Venus stellium up here in the 9th house. This is just beautiful. It's not easy, but it is extremely empowering. Then the next thing I want to mention is this conjunction of Mercury with the South Node. The South Node is our collective assets at this point in history, at this juncture of evolution, what is accessible from our rich background, so to say, what we can pull in as a resource. The nodes move backwards. For those of you who are not so familiar, it's the only place, the only spot, because it's really a spot, it's not a physical thing. The nodes is where the moon and the sun's paths are crossing. That's what the nodes are. That's where eclipses happen. That's why we have a total solar eclipse, because the sun and the moon are very close to that place. So anyway, the lunar south node, the assets in the okay, the what I try to figure it out. Okay, that is the Cancer dwad, right? The Cancer dwad, interesting, of the south node. Again, Cancer energy comes in, of caring, and Mercury is in the Leo dwad. That energy of standing up and being strong, a beautiful combination. Sun and Moon very close to the galactic center. Just 4 days later, on the 18th, the Sun will be exactly lining to the galactic center. The 17th, 1 day prior, Saturn will change signs, and on the 19th, Jupiter will change signs, and then on the 21st of December we have that kind of most powerful nodal point of our times, which will have long term effect, which will really plant that big seed of the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. So we are in that final few days where the energies are building up like a pyramid. It's every day almost we're climbing a step higher through the coming week. So this is a wonderful time to understand the complexity of reality and to just be in that space of enjoying the ride, however crazy it is, because it is crazy, we know that. The 11th degree of Sagittarius at midheaven here in the American capital. Antares is up here. Antares is the planet of war, of being strong and accepting the challenge to stand up for our values. Huya, I mentioned before that this is all close to the American nation's ascendant, so it really brings the nation's I would say the ascendant would represent their drive. It's the drive. It's where we are aiming towards. It's always the ascendant. It's always finding that place where it all merges, it meets, and that's the sunrise point. That's the most powerful spot at the horizon, where every star is rising, where all the new things arise. So that pull towards the future, you could call it, that's what's up here in midheaven. Again, the moon of the nation at the ascendant. Now I could say many more things here. I will just jump to the next chart and you will be surprised what's coming here. The Second American Revolution, the final offensive, started in Gettysburg on November the 25th when that first public hearing was held by Giuliani and Sidney Powell and their team, introducing that court case. It was the first of many, but Pennsylvania is the state where the nation was founded in Philadelphia, and Gettysburg also has a powerful connection to the American Revolution. That was where the final battle began, the final battle for independence and freedom. And no doubt this was symbolic that this place was chosen. It was really setting a sign. And as you now see here, what I want to point you toward, you probably already saw that. Again, the 27th degree of Aquarius rising. The nation's combined emotional power is activated, and this will be the driving force for the change which is coming. At the time I spoke about this chart, I just want to mention one thing. The moon was in Aries conjunct Mars here at the second house cusp, making it all real, giving it body. The second house is about the physical manifestation of something. So I find this quite remarkable, this synchronicity, the eclipse center point for Washington being identical with the energetic structure of that initial spark into the final offensive, because that is really what Trump has clearly stated. That was on December the 2nd, when he gave his 46-minute speech, which he said it was the most important one he ever was giving, detailing all the findings of how fraudulent these elections were. On December the 2nd, that was pretty much when the sun was here at midheaven in this chart, making the big statement, making the case. So everyone knows now we're on the war path. It's open, it's no more concealed. It's a spiritual war. Yes, it is the war of good versus evil. And we are now all activated. And as I say, this is infectious. This is the real virus which is out there, the virus of truth, the virus of awakening. Whatever other virus there is, that's on a different plane altogether. Like the 9, say, it's that two-world split. However, the veil between the two worlds is very thin, and it takes very little from anyone on the other side to change over to through that veil to the awakened side. And as we go, the balance will tip more and more in favor of the awakened ones. It's a process, it's an organic process. We cannot really pull the flower open. We have to give it time to unfold, to release all its fragrance. It takes time. And it is actually a most enjoyable process if we can allow it to just unfold. Naturally, we do what we have to do. We do what we already do. We just continue on what we already are engaged in. But we definitely don't lose hope, even if it takes longer. We just are knowing it will happen eventually, and it will happen in a wonderful way at the exact right moment when we are ready for the celebration. And as I say, I looked a little into the future. I think it might take into February till we're really at the bottom of this pile. So just keep that in mind. No rush. It is a process, and it is a deep process. So let's go back now to another few charts, and this is the relationship chart between the founding of the American nation with tomorrow, December 14th, solar eclipse. Okay, I guess you don't need to be big of an astrologer. You immediately see this alignment here in the Capricorn Cancer axis. Again, remember 13 degrees 19, that is the American nation's Earth. 1319, the American nation's Sun. And what we see here, Mars, the Black Moon, and the South Node. Right in the 7th house cusp. So it is really, the shadows are coming into full flowering. They're becoming fully visible. Everything is now openly available. Naturally, when something like of that magnitude all of a sudden is out in the open, it's kind of frightening. But it has always been there. It's just now it's more visible. So anyway, before you can defeat something, you have to understand what it is, what it consists of, who it is, why it's there, what its intentions are. This all will come into the full daylight. It's that Taurus energy where the Black Moon is in right now. Just to beam back here quickly, this is the eclipse chart of December 14. You see the Black Moon and Uranus, which I mentioned before. It's that conjunction which becomes exact on the 22nd of December. However, this is a long-term thing, at least for 2 plus 2 minus months. The Black Moon moves 3 degrees and something each month. So, yes, it is intense. The Black Moon and Uranus, it's interesting. I should throw this in quickly. As we have that proclaimed age of Aquarius fully to arrive in that sense. I guess that's what many astrologers say with that Jupiter-Saturn conjunction at 0 degree Aquarius. This is the rise, the final arrival in the age of Aquarius, which I think is absolutely reasonable to look at it that way. Uranus is the planet which is considered to rule Aquarius. Uranus is in a tight conjunction with the Black Moon. Okay, this is interesting, and I was thinking about that for a long time. This is the Aquarian shadow. It is also the fear of the unknown, of the unusual, the weird, the strange. It is all the surprises we will run into on our way to uncover and discover new realities, new dimensions. It's not all just nice. It's this Aquarian shadow is actually can be quite dark. It goes into AI and control and to manipulation, versus on the positive side, the Aquarian energy is about community and sharing and progress and traveling to the stars, to use technology in a way that it serves the people, that it serves evolution, and not being used by it, being subjugated by it. So this is at the root of this whole 20-year cycle we are getting into. So this is not just for now, this will be an ongoing theme that we have to work through that shadow first before we can fully harness its potentials. So let me just go back to the chart I was here with the midpoint of the American nation. So yes, it's coming really into the line of fire. This is a confrontation, a clear confrontation. There's no question in that. These dark forces will do anything and everything to survive. Just knowing this is important. Now, guess what? I would like to give you some understanding of what's going on down here. This is AW197. This is a substantially big outer planet of the Kuiper belt, about 800 to 1,000 kilometers in diameter. Research has shown this is the energy of Sun Tzu, of the ability to use the opponent's energy in a way to redirect it, to reuse it, to kind of pick up its momentum and use it to generate a positive effect. So I find this highly interesting that this force sits at the 4th house cusp. It really shows that we are able to use all that dark agenda energy as a fuel to bring everyone to light. Now this is something to think about. It's also interesting that in Donald Trump's chart, this body is very specially placed. I quickly want to show you this. I have it right here. See, here is AW197 at 2147 Gemini. That is right here between his North Node and his Sun. Is that ever interesting? It means that he is the representative of that force. And naturally, everyone who is familiar with Donald Trump's biography, he has studied Sun Tzu, the art of war. How to appear weak when you're strong, how to appear strong when you're weak. Just to always deceive the enemy, to pretend and to say things which are making you look stupid. However, if someone underestimates you, then you have a secret opening. You have found their Achilles heel, and I mean, we are dealing with such a monster, such a huge entity of dark forces, that without being able to find that weak spot, we never would get into their system. David and Goliath, I mean, it's really that simple. So anyway, this is just all very beautiful, which I want to say. It's just mind-blowing on some level how everything is supportive in the same direction. Now, yes, this is the next chart I want to get into, which is the base chart of this ECLIPSE series. I will do that in the next sequel. Okay, thanks again, and enjoy the wonderful energy which is just developing. And if you can find time to meditate during that eclipse, that would be a wonderful thing to do. Again, it's 11:18 in Washington DC Eastern Standard Time. You certainly will find ways to translate that to your own time zone. Talk to you in a minute, and this is again Koji from Celestial Rhythms.